Cleveland, we treat every patient like it's 4th and goal. Fast, tough, and no-nonsense care, just like the way Tennessee plays. Cleanings, repairs, full-on restorations. We'll get you back in the game. Magnolia Dental Center, proudly serving Vol Nation, one winning smile at a time. Call 423-476-3307 or visit magnoliadentalcenterofcleveland.com to schedule an appointment today.
Hey, Andy Morris here. Join me along with my co-host on The Drive, presented by Hardees, weekdays at 5 p.m. on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Cleveland and Bradley County's local sports show, weekdays at 5 on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 101.3, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Don't take no style. Got a thirst for killing. Drink your mind.
Welcome back to The Drive, a Friday edition for you here. It's been a long week, a fun week, though. A lot going on here locally with middle school, high school football. We're going to talk about all that here in just a minute, but we have a full house today. I want to introduce and bring back our good friend Josh Rogers in the building, along with Jacob Mason, Jim Gum, and myself, Andy Morris. So truly a full house here today.
Yeah, it's fun to have the Josh here. Of course, you know, I did one show with Josh, and this how long ago was. The Olympics were going on, and we had a lot of Olympic talk going on. So it's been a minute. I guess it's been probably about 15, 16 months since last time I was on the air with you, but that's when it was. So.
Yeah, the Olympics were a really great time for this show and this station. For a lot of people who don't know, we kind of launched this ESPN station the 1st of June.
Right.
And for anyone who knows summer, there's not really a whole lot of sports going on.
Josh, we were talking about fencing at one point, man.
Oh, dude, we went through fencing. We went through weightlifting.
Is that a male or female?
No, yeah, absolutely. You know, you start getting into the Russians, and you're like, whoa, you know, who is that? You know,
Did she shave this morning?
Yeah, right. Obviously, with Putin over in Alaska today with Trump, you have no clue, male, female, when it comes to the Russian weightlifters. But no, it was a really great time for us because the only thing at that point in time that we really had to talk about was Braves baseball. And
they were actually winning.
They were, yeah, unlike right now. And for us to be able to have the Olympics for like 3 weeks or whatever it was, 3 or 4 weeks, to be able to kind of talk about all that and then kind of slide right into high school football, college football, it was a really great time. And I do remember that, and it was fantastic. And that was kind of the same time Andy was doing a whole bunch of stuff and getting on, Jacob as well. So happy to be back in the building. And literally, I've been traveling so much recently, just gone. And I was driving down Keith Street, and I was sitting here thinking, it's 5 o'clock. My kids, they're all in Chattanooga dancing tonight. I have nothing to do until like 9 o'clock tonight.
That's what I was doing before I got here, by the way. I was dancing, too, after that Braves series up in New York.
Nothing to do. So I was like, hey, you guys on today? Absolutely. Stop on in.
Josh, I got to say one thing. The one thing that's different about you, you got a few more gray hairs in that beard, brother.
Yeah, man. It's long days, long nights. And
this is what you're heading toward.
It's heading that way. And, you know, I say that the last year, you know, I mean, I've been, off the radio now for about 4 or 5 months. And the year before that, probably put half of this on, you know. But no, I love ESPN, love the station, love you guys, and always happy to step in, stop in, and say hello from time to time.
So now what I want you to do is be honest with everybody and explain why you're in the building today. The true reason. Who are we going to address?
Well, we're going to talk about this here later on, I'm sure. But you guys here at ESPN posted a blog today, and you guys posted the top 10 Atlanta Braves all time. Not pitchers, just position players.
Pitchers were excluded from this list, so obviously you think of some guys, Chipper Jones, Hank Aaron, and of course Del Murphy.
Jeez, come on. But there's a lot of names that were left off of this list, and so we're going to talk about this list, I hope, here at some point in time. But I've been in an argument all day with Stephen Shelton. He's an idiot, and there are some
That's a
great
cue to call right there.
There is some great players on this list, and the Atlanta Braves have had a historic history of having great position players and obviously great pitching in their history. But one name stands out on this list: Jeff Blauser. Seriously?
No way. I don't
Jeff
care.
Blauser,
There's
number
no way.
9.
There's no way.
Number 9. Number 10 is Terry Pendleton. So your last two, your 10 and number 9 is Terry Pendleton and Jeff Blauser.
I could justify Terry Pendleton way ahead of Jeff Blauser.
Yeah. The argument is that it was the Atlanta Braves, and we'll get into this.
Yes.
We'll get into this argument.
Well, I'll say this about Terry Pendleton. He won an MVP.
Okay.
Is Raphael Furcal on this list?
No.
Okay, Raphael Furcal is better than Jeff Blauser.
Yeah.
I'll just say it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's if you look at the numbers, Andrelton Simmons defensively is better than Furcal and Blauser. Mm-hmm. One of the best shortstops to ever play defensive baseball of all time. Couldn't hit the side of a barn. Couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. But defensively, he was. And so I'd like to really get into this because we've had an argument really all afternoon about this. One person who was left off this list, and this is where the argument goes, Eddie Matthews, not on the top 10 all-time Braves list.
How long did he play with the Atlanta Braves?
The Atlanta Braves one season. The Milwaukee Braves.
So we're talking about the
14 years with the Milwaukee Braves and the Braves organization.
We're talking about Boston, Milwaukee, Atlanta.
That's what I'm talking. That's what I came in here to argue. Why are you guys not?
I'm confused if we actually put the graybeards on last year. If today this Facebook post has just got you all riled up. I'm with you. He's on my list. He would have been on mine. If I was making the 10, he's in there. Also, another one that was left off was Fred McGriff to me.
Yeah, Crime Dog.
Yeah,
Crime Dog is one of the best first basemen of all time.
Eddie Matthews is one of the greatest players of all time, regardless of franchise.
Yes, absolutely.
You got to put Warren Spahn on there too.
And I guess there just needs to be some clarification from the ESPN crew.
Well, pitchers excluded.
Oh, okay.
The pitchers are excluded,
Okay,
which
position players.
Because the pitchers are excluded in this, and so I guess there needs to be some clarification. If we're talking about the Atlanta Braves, only in the city of Atlanta,
Yes.
It's 1966 to now.
whoa.
That's when
The Atlanta Braves. These are the Cobb County Braves. This isn't the Atlanta Braves.
That's right.
So if
You're
we're gonna be this specific and call it Atlanta, then anybody who only played at Turner Field for that 1 year, Ronald Acuna Jr., should not be considered on this list.
Well, see, that's where I draw the line. The team still has the ATL across the chest, the A on the cap.
Yeah.
I draw the line there.
Okay, what about the team that has the Braves across the chest? Does that matter to you?
Now, if you're talking all-time franchise, Atlanta made the move from Milwaukee in 1966.
Yes.
And obviously, Eddie Matthews, as Jim said, one of the greatest players of all time. Can't exclude him if you're talking all-time
His
franchise.
number is retired by the Atlanta Braves.
That's true.
So how can he not be one of the best if his number is retired by the organization?
It's on the facade there.
Absolutely, and they have a whole thing underneath the tunnel about him.
Right.
So,
But this is where I stand. Stephen Shelton's stance on this was, it's Del Murphy hands down. That was where he stood, correct?
because he's a stalker. He literally stalks Dale Murphy across the United States. I've never met someone who can meet a famous person more times than Stephen Shelton and Dale Murphy. This guy has met him probably 15 times at restaurants, at church. He's stalked him into bathrooms before. It is the craziest thing in the entire world. He has a horrible obsession with Dale Murphy, and he thinks Dale Murphy is the greatest Brave of all time.
Well, and
Dale Murphy's not even in the Hall of Fame.
I'll say this. He should be in the Hall of Fame, for one. Best player of the 1980s, period. The best. Two-time MVP in the 80s. We've got his jersey hanging right over here. But
Probably Stephen Shelton's.
Honestly, you're probably right. He probably got the hookup for us on that. But I think when you're talking Atlanta area, we'll include Cobb County, Greater Cobb County, okay?
The Atlanta metropolitan area.
Yes, it's hard to put Del Murphy above Chipper Jones. And I'm not even talking about Hank Aaron yet.
You're going to put Dale Murphy above Chipper?
I said it's hard to.
Well, because you can't.
Yeah, I don't see how you do it.
Yeah, you can't.
No.
So I'm kind of torn. I love both those guys, first of all.
Yeah.
And now you kind of got me questioning myself. I've met Del Murphy several times as well.
Stalker.
Little bit of a stage 5 clinger to one of my favorite players of all times, Del Murphy. But Chipper Jones, when you think Atlanta Braves, you think Chipper Jones.
That's if talking about the Atlanta franchise, 66 to the present, assuming that we're including Cobb County, I would go with Chipper Jones would be number one for me.
Yeah,
that's
here.
my personal opinion, but everyone. That's why we all have opinions.
Well, hey, since we've gotten into this and we've already started talking about this, number one overall based on by ESPN Cleveland 1013. This is off the ESPN Cleveland 1013's blog post of the day. The number one baseball player for the Atlanta Braves, position player, Hank Aaron.
I mean, Hank Aaron played for the Braves.
Split his career.
From 66 to 74. And by the way, I saw Hank Aaron's last Atlanta Brave home run. Little did I know at the time, number 733.
That's pretty awesome.
I was there. Didn't know he was going to be traded to the Milwaukee Brewers.
And Hank split his career between being a Milwaukee Brave and an Atlanta Brave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But
to the World Series in Milwaukee.
But we, we can include Hank, but we can't include Eddie Matthews. So number 2, Chipper Jones. 3, Del Murphy. 4 is the other Jones.
Andrew
Jones.
Yeah.
Then Freddie. Then Ronald. Then B-Mac. Then Javi. Then Blauser, and then Terry Pendleton. That is the ESPN Cleveland 1013 top 10 all-time Braves position players list. Jacob, you're a big Braves fan.
I mean, this wouldn't be my list.
Who would be your list?
I told you I would have the two guys that were left off to me were Crime Dog and Eddie Matthews. So I don't know where I would put them. I haven't really, I have a daytime job, so I haven't really got to
What about Marcus Giles?
Listen, talk about a guy that could scoop the ball at second base, turn some double plays. Marcus Giles was one of my personal favorites.
I'll be honest. The one thing, I think I like 1 and 2 where they're at. It's where you start getting down the list is where it gets. For me, I don't know that would be the order that it's in. That's where I struggle. And then the two guys that were left off that I mentioned, they would be in there somewhere too.
This is the deal with Fred McGriff. He was an Atlanta Brave from 93 to 97, and of course we know that 94 lockout year was a wash. So didn't spend a majority of his career as a Brave.
Yeah, but he's also in that time where the Braves were just so dominant.
He had some monumental moments during that time. Listen, I remember Atlanta Fulton County Stadium catching on fire. Literally, I was at the next game. The Braves had just traded for Fred McGriff.
The press box caught on fire.
And the national headline was Braves McGriff catch fire. And I can remember being a little kid being at that very next game and looking up and seeing the black press box.
Where was Freddie Freeman?
Freddie Freeman on the list was ranked number 5. So Andrew Jones, Freddie, Ronald, Brian McCann, Javi Lopez.
And I guess something
and that's crazy to me that Brian McCann is ranked higher than Javi Lopez.
Javi Lopez was better than McCann.
Javi Lopez was one of the best catchers of all time. And here's another catcher who is not on this list. That if we're talking about it, are we talking about their career with the Braves, or are we talking about their overall career and they played with the Braves? Because Fred McGriff, had a really good career with the Braves, but his career expounded more. Freddie Freeman had a really good career with the Braves, but many would say that Freddie has played actually better with the Dodgers than he ever has with the Braves.
They've been solid for both places.
So I look at this and I say, is that how it is? Here's a player who is a catcher, who is older, who is one of the best catchers of all time, then turned into one of the best managers of all time, but Joe Torre.
Yeah, Joe Torre was fantastic.
Not on this
And
list.
I think of Joe Torre, the player, as a St. Louis Cardinal because he won an MVP. in
Yeah,
St.
are we
Louis.
talking? And that's another question I guess I have. Are we talking greatest Braves as in just like the play? Like when I think about the greatest Brave ever, it's Chipper Jones. He put the organization in front of himself all the time. He constantly took deals that were friendly. He is the biggest Braves lover of all time. He would be number one. If it's careers, it's hard not to put a guy like Hank Aaron up there because I mean, like in your opinion, he's the all-time leading home run hitter because Barry Bonds cheated.
Yeah, he juiced, no doubt about it. But hey, listen, got some texts coming in here. One is saying, can't forget about Ron Gant. You talk about during that.
Gosh, yes.
What about Ralph Garr?
That transitional
Yes.
period from the Braves going from worst to first, Ron Gant was a huge part of that. A lot of us remember him getting single-legged against the Minnesota Twins in a World Series, which ultimately cost us a World Series. Still something that I think is absolutely insane today. But Ron Gant, definitely a huge fan favorite in Atlanta. And our station's very own Steve Hartline throwing out my guy Bob Horner. Bob Horner, talk about another good second baseman. He was the second baseman of the 80s for the Atlanta Braves.
Bob Horner, second base? Bob Horner wasn't a second baseman? Who's the third baseman?
I'm thinking Glenn Hubbard.
Yeah,
Glenn
he
Hubbard
was-
was
I was
second.
gonna say,
yeah.
he was a third baseman.
Yeah, third baseman. That's right.
Okay.
Bob Horner was third.
I was sitting there
Glenn
going,
Hubbard.
Yeah.
he might have played a game or two.
Yeah,
but
Glenn, Glenn Hubbard is who I was thinking.
Glenn
But yeah,
Hubbard.
Bob
the
Bob
snake,
Horner was
with
at
the
third.
snake around him on the baseball
Awesome
card.
baseball
Listen,
card.
and there's so many Braves people who actually played for the Braves for a really, really long time that if you look at their numbers, they're unbelievable. And then that extends out. And here's what I think the really big problem is that you have someone who's posting on y'all's website and posting for ESPN Cleveland 1013 that uses ChatGPT to make lists. That is exactly what it is.
And let me ask you guys, how close is Ozzy Albies to being as far as at least a top 15 player?
In my opinion,
he's got to be top.
Are you
he's gotta be
asking?
top 20?
Are you asking about my opinion?
Ozzy Albies. Where do you
Are
rank
you
him?
asking our opinions
Yeah,
of
I'm
that, or are
asking
you
your
asking
opinion.
numbers?
I'm asking your opinion.
Nowhere close.
Is he not top 20?
No. Braves all time? No.
I'm talking
or
about-
second base?
Oh, well, he's clearly top
I mean,
five.
top
second
five
base.
second baseman, probably top 30 maybe, top 40, top 50. Honestly,
getting-
I mean, I know that's getting extended out there, but if you look at Ozzy is a really great switch hitter too, but go back and look at all the switch hitters that the Braves have had over the years. None better than Chipper Jones.
yeah, no doubt.
But if you look at Ozzy's production on the field defensively, he does really well. It's the problem with his bat is
Yeah,
that it's so up and down.
It's inconsistent.
This year's a bad example for sure.
Very
Well,
inconsistent.
he's one of the littlest players in Major League Baseball of all time, and he is the one player who uses the heaviest bat in Major League Baseball as well. He uses a heavier bat than Judge, Stanton, and Ohtani, Freeman. He uses the heaviest bat in Major Leagues.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's an interesting fact. I didn't know that either.
absolutely.
Interesting.
So I want to backtrack a little bit. You talked about the catching position, and you said that it was an injustice that Javi Lopez was behind Brian McCann on
Yes.
this list. I want to point out Brian McCann, 5-time Silver Slugger winner. Javi Lopez won the award one time. Now, I'll
Brian
say,
McCann, 5-time hot dog eating contest winner too.
That's true. But you talk about a guy who was a captain. I'll never forget Brian McCann. Back when it was not cool to do this, but Carlos Gomez of the Milwaukee Brewers kind of pimped a home run.
Yeah, he
Brian
got right in
McCann.
his face. Wouldn't let him touch home plate.
Brian McCann met him halfway up the third baseline.
That's true.
So my heart, listen, I loved Javi Lopez, but you talk about a guy who you think the ultimate Brave, back there catching day in and day out. Brian McCann didn't miss a lot of games. David Ross kind of came in a little bit later and helped him out late in his tenure as a Brave, but Brian McCann is a guy that I have a lot of loyalty towards.
And Brian McCann had to do that because he was a leader of the team.
Yes.
Javi Lopez did not have to do that.
That's true.
Because he had Eddie Perez
That's
as his
true.
backup catcher, and Eddie Perez
And
would
that
be
was
willing
Maddox's
to win
guy.
it.
Time out. Yeah, Jim, you just nailed it right there.
was
Eddie
Maddox's guy.
Perez was Greg Maddox's catcher. He wasn't a backup catcher.
Yeah.
He was Greg Maddox's
Hey,
catcher.
here's another. Where did we put Darrell Evans?
Not on the list.
Darrell Evans of course, he played for like 3 or 4 different teams, hit a lot of home runs for multiple teams. But I remember him in the early '70s with the Braves. Of course, Dusty Baker didn't play long enough to be with the Braves. That's being a top guy. But I'm just thinking of guys from the '70s.
Ken Griffey Sr.
Well, there again.
It's short- short tenure.
Yeah,
Coffee.
and
Short tenure.
that's what I mean. Is
Cup of
like, is this a cup of coffee list, or is this a like what is the how many years do you have to play, and is it the entire organization of the Atlanta
I would say
Braves?
7 to 8 minimum.
Is it the Atlanta? Is it the Braves organization, or is it Atlanta only, or Metro Atlanta only?
Metro Atlanta.
Then if that's the case, you have 1 year.
Well-
if it's a 7 or 8 minimum,
Well,
1 year
you
of
got
Eddie
a guy,
Matthews.
You got a
That's
guy
not
in
gonna be on
Ronald
the list.
Acuna Jr. who's making his return tonight. By the way, that's breaking news. Ronnie Baseball back in the lineup for the Braves, hitting third tonight. But I'm gonna say this: he's already got an MVP under his belt. He's already got a record that nobody else has, the 40-70 record. He's got to be pretty high up on that list as well.
No, absolutely.
Oh, gosh,
The problem with Ronnie is that his attitude. And that's always been his problem, is that he's always had a really bad attitude, and he's always been a kid. And so at some point in some time, like, there's going to have to be the maturity to step up for him to be that next level superstar. And I think that he can do it. And I pray and I hope that the Braves lock him down for the next 10 years. They won't do that, because that's just how the Braves are absolute dumpster fire of a team right now.
Look at the track record when it comes to the Max Fried, to the Freddie Freemans. The track record, it doesn't track. They don't get re-signed.
But it's horrible.
That's the one thing that I probably gripe about the most on the show is the Braves act like they don't have any money. And through the first half of the season this year, they've already raked in like $330 million of revenue.
Well, don't ask Terry McGurk, president and CEO of the Atlanta Braves, because he acts like they've got it coming out of their
Clown.
ears.
I know.
You
He's
nailed
a
it.
freaking clown, man.
You nailed it.
And then like it's at the F1 owner, correct? Like acting like the F1 doesn't have money to be able to go out and a stories franchised team to go spend and keep talent home. It drives me nuts. The fact that Max Fried is in pinstripes, having one of the best years of his career, instead of being in Atlanta, is a travesty. It absolutely is, and it's the one thing that I get real riled up about with the Braves, for sure.
Josh, he's opening up an old wound for you right there. We had this conversation, seems like a few months ago. Got to bring him back, and here we are.
Hey, listen, I'm feeling it for Rabbit Moranville. Come on, he played with the Boston
I want to
Braves
know where this
from
list comes.
1912 to 1935. Come on. Let's give Rabbit Moranville a little love on
That's a
this
good
show.
tenure. Good tenure right there. Man, I tell you what, the debates are hot here when it comes to that Braves all-time list. You can check out our Facebook page, ESPN Cleveland 1013, and get in on the conversation. We've got people texting in as well. We appreciate
Yeah, get on
that.
Facebook and call Stephen Shelton an idiot.
Josh Rogers, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, real quick before we go to break, we've got a recap of some middle school football scores. Last night, Cleveland Middle fell to Dalton Jr. 32-6. Lake Forest had their 8th grade night hosting William Blount. They lost that game by a score of 44-14. That is what was sent in. And then the Ocoee Colts defeated Silverdale up at Walker Valley High School last night, 42-12. And Jacob, I believe you were doing the PA for that game.
Yeah, I called the PA of the game. 286 yards rushing. Hezekiah Thomas had 150 plus, 3 rushing touchdowns. Drew Gibson, 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 catching. Cullen Wilson went 93 yards, 1 passing touchdown, no INTs, and they had 3 touchdowns in their first 5 plays on offense. They looked electric last night. 42 points in the first half. Boys can play.
So middle school football is alive and well here in Bradley County, getting kicked off last night. We're going to continue to keep you guys updated week to week on what's going on with our middle school programs. And obviously last night, too, a little bit of high school scrimmages, Cleveland at Boyd Buchanan, Walker Valley at Farragut. Both coaches were on mix this morning. We're going to talk about that when we come back, and we're pleased with their efforts last night. All that and more when we come back right here on ESPN Cleveland 1013.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Now at Hardees, 2 hand-breaded chicken tender wraps are only $5. Mix and match your favorite flavors like buttermilk ranch, honey mustard, and spicy. Endless combinations start with 2 warm tortillas, each filled with 100% white meat, juicy on the inside, crispy on the outside, hand-breaded chicken tenders. Any 2 wraps, now just $5. Hardees, goodness in the making. These items only. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Visit restaurant for details.
Need cash? Check. Behind on bills? Check. Unexpected car repair, broken appliance, surprise vet bill? Check, check, and check. Time to check into Cash, your one-stop money shop. Check all the boxes all in one place. From payday loans to flex lines of credit, we've got solutions that move with you. The process is simple, quick, and designed to get you the help you need fast. If you've been approved, you can leave with cash in hand. Check Into Cash also offers check cashing, money orders, wire transfers, and even gift card buyback. Check your worries at the door and check into a store to apply. We have stores in the Chattanooga area, including Cleveland and Athens. Or visit checkintocash.com to get started today. Check Into Cash. We fund today to make a better tomorrow. Subject to state regulations, eligibility, credit check, underwriting, and approval. Rates, restrictions, and fees apply. Visit a store for details.
When competition is fierce, sports injuries happen, and Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Saturday sports clinics are available at our Chattanooga and Cleveland offices from August 23rd through November 8th for the treatment of non-emergency orthopedic injuries like sprains, strains, and fractures. Doors open at 9 a.m., no appointment needed to be seen by our highly trained physicians and clinical staff. Saturday sports clinic dates are subject to change. Check sportmed.com for the latest information. That's sportmed.com.
ESPN Cleveland 1013 is powered by Duracell. When you need a new roof, it's all about trust. Your home is too big an investment and you can't afford to make a mistake. Cleveland Plywood has the products and expertise you're looking for. Contractors have trusted them for over 50 years, and they carry only proven products from reputable suppliers like IKO. IKO Cambridge is one of the heaviest weight asphalt shingles you can buy, and their limited warranties are among the industry's best. Protect the investment you've made in your home. Go with the pros at Cleveland Plywood. 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland. Call 472-3357.
Mix 1041 and Honda of Cleveland are teaming up to give one deserving teacher in our local area the chance to win a 2025 Honda Civic LX. Nominate your favorite teacher at mymix1041.com or on the Mix 1041 app.
Switching jobs is stressful. Switching schools is painful. But switching your insurance policies to Allstate, it really couldn't be easier. At Allstate, you can call one local agent who can assist you with all of your policies and make the paperwork simple. Here in Cleveland, Allstate agent George Gray can help you protect everything from your home, car, boat, and motorcycle to your RV, ATV, and more. See George Gray, Allstate Insurance on Keith Street. Are you in good hands?
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Duracell in Cleveland is now hiring mechanical skilled technicians. $22 to $27 an hour. Excellent benefits beginning day one. Medical, dental, vision insurance, paid vacation, holiday pay, 401k, tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply now at Duracell.com. That's Duracell.com. And you're listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland.
Listen, we had a very spirited debate there in the first segment regarding our Atlanta Braves, the all-time great Atlanta Braves, and Stephen Shelton has yet to reach out to us. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, because he's been on vacation for 6 weeks down in Daytona.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Rogers is in the building representing Wholesale Supply Group.
Yeah, well, let's not say that.
He just did.
They're probably not happy with this past segment.
But, hey, so let's talk a little bit of high school football now. All our high school football coverage here on ESPN Cleveland presented by Food City. We appreciate Food City for their sponsorship of our high school football coverage. This morning on Mixed Mornings with Stephen Bridget, we had all three local high school football coaches on.
That's right.
Had a couple players from Cleveland, couple players from Bradley. Apparently, Coach Akins forgot his players. I don't know how that went. I'm going to have to ask him.
That's something about academics, you know.
Yeah, oh, there you go.
Or it could be something about culture up there.
Listen, you're leading us off with it, Josh. We heard some comments.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And I mean, listen, I know all three of these coaches, obviously, from working here at ESPN for those couple years, doing high school sports. But there's something about interlocal rivalries that is really fun. And with this new transfer rule that the state of Tennessee and TSSAA and all their infinite wisdom has put in, we've seen some really big transfers that have happened.
If wisdom is what you want to call it.
Within these three schools.
Within these three schools, right?
If you want to call it wisdom, you can call it that.
I said in their infinite wisdom, they've
Okay,
decided to allow this to happen. And what has happened is, and what this has allowed, is that kids who've grown up with each other are able to school hop from one school to another, and then being able to put a microphone in front of them, a little bit dangerous.
It is.
Very dangerous.
But also gives some really kind of big headlines. And we had a wide receiver. Is that what he played up there with you guys at Walker Valley?
Honestly, did a little bit of everything.
He did a little bit of
little bit of everything. Spencer McCooch came out today and. Listen, I mean, he said it on air. There's record. He said that he's happy to be at Bradley. There's a better environment than where I came from, and everyone works harder at Bradley.
Yeah. I listened to it live this morning.
And I quoted it directly from what he said. A.J. Westfield said that he was anxious and nervous about coming from Cleveland to come over to Bradley and thought that he might have made a bad decision going over there because all he knew for a long time was Cleveland. Mm-hmm. But he saw how hard everyone was working, and he started to fit in, started making new friends, and now he feels like he's at home at Bradley. So you have literally Spencer McCooch last year was one of the best players, had his name called a whole bunch by you two guys and everyone else throughout the whole Walker Valley thing, left, went to Bradley. A.J. Westfield was one of the better players, best players on that defensive line for Cleveland.
He was one of the best players in the entire area.
Left and now is at Bradley. And so it's causing some little interlocal drama here, right? And I'm here for it, right? Like we all as adults, we all as commentators, we all as people have to remember that these are kids. 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, right? And we don't need to take it too far. But anytime, like, there's a little bit of bulletin board material for that Bradley Walker Valley game, it's going to be a little good.
I want to say this because Bradley came in and set the tone this morning with Coach Damon Floyd. And I love Coach Floyd because he is who he is. No apologies. That's just not him. And he came in with some comments about McMinn County. Obviously, the Bears opening up with McMinn and had some comments about that.
No love lost.
No love lost, and pretty much we hate each other.
Yeah.
And that's something that the old-time Bradley guys know all about, that rivalry we talk about at plenty, second oldest running rivalry in the state of Tennessee. But Coach Floyd kind of set the tone this morning, like – and I want to say this about Bradley. People look at their record last year, 3 wins,
3
right?
7.
3 and 7. And they're like, that's going to be they're going to be better. Listen, A.J. Westfield being on the field for them, period, go ahead and tack 2 more wins on that schedule as far as I'm concerned, maybe 3.
Well,
I would say
their
3.
quarterback situation, guys, was absolutely went down the tubes early last year.
And it's the exact same thing this year.
There only was one guy so far this year.
Well, and he was their starter, the oldest brother, and now the little brother who
he's got 6 games under his belt.
Got 6 games under his belt. He's going to be playing.
So my thing here is 6 games under your belt. You're also a year older. You're a year bigger. Like.
And you've got some better weapons around
athletes around you. Like Stovall was kind of like your main guy that you could throw to last year. Now, like you've got A.J. Westfield who's going to play both sides of the ball. You can stay in that wing T and have A.J. Westfield involved in that, or you can have guys like Braden Carroll who also came over from Cleveland to throw to on the outside. Like. They're not hurting as I hate it for I said this on the show the other day. I hate it for the young man that got hurt, but they're not hurting as bad as they were last year.
Yeah, and you have Spencer McCooch, who probably was one of y'all's leading wide receivers last year, was he not?
He was more so called upon defensively.
Yeah.
And really good safety, good defensive back. Played some special teams. His brother, who graduated last year, was a big part at receiver.
Okay.
And so, and that's where kind of some of the confusion comes in. His older brother was a receiver. But I'll say this: I love the energy coming from Spencer. And he said what's on his mind. He said what he's thinking. But I also want to say, Coach J.D. Dunbar, the strength and conditioning coach at Walker Valley, came from Ooltewah. Guys got a great – I promise you those guys are working hard. So don't be confused by that. It's a little gamesmanship by Spencer.
100%.
Yeah, and here's the thing. We hear this in college football all the time. Wherever you leave from and go to, they work harder, practices harder.
Of course that's what
it's always that. And so, like, when I heard that this morning, I was like, that's just kind of a page out of another book that I've heard in college football for years.
Yeah.
Like, you want to pump up the program that you're you're going to. But with it being high school and local, it just made it feel a little bit more. It just made it.
Well,
like
as divided as this town is between the Walker Valley faithful, the Bradley faithful, the Cleveland faithful, anytime you can get words like that, bulletin board material, it's going to light a fire under people.
And listen, I can promise you, too, knowing Roman Yulo as good as I know him, that it's going to be hard to find anybody in this greater Chattanooga area that works as hard as Roman Yulo. I just want to put that out
Is
there.
he at Bradley now, too?
No, he's at Walker Valley.
I'm just checking. It seems like everybody's going to Bradley, so I'm just curious.
Good question. But
Just seeing where their passport's at right now.
So I can promise you those leaders at Walker Valley, the kids at Cleveland, the McGowan at Cleveland, they're going to have this stuff as bulletin board material, and it just adds to the spirit of these rivalry games. It really does. It's fun conversation. And I'll say this, too, kind of under the radar, Chris Brown and the Blue Raiders. They came in, talked appropriately, nothing too directed at anybody. Came in, went about their business, and they've kind of been quiet.
What's a good year for him this year?
Cleveland goes, I think 7-3, I think 6-4. I think they're going to have a winning record. I think they're going to be pretty good. They look athletic.
They start at what? Walker Valley, McMinn, Tullahoma, Maryville, Oak Ridge. Is that right? I'm looking at this little chart over here. Yeah. I mean, they've got a gauntlet of a schedule.
Yeah, I was going to say 5-5 looks successful to me.
And for year one, I'm okay.
Absolutely.
With a young team too. With a young team replacing a lot. Like you think about the running back that they had there last year with Isaiah Davis. Like you're going to have to replace some things. AJ Westfield, Carroll, all that.
And they're in the toughest region in the state, in my opinion.
The back of their schedule. Whew,
yes. So I think if you can go 5-5, that's a great year. Put you in position.
So that puts even more of an emphasis on the front-loaded end of this schedule with the non-region games between the three local high schools in McMinn.
Yeah.
There's a lot of emphasis on winning those games to make your overall record look a little bit better.
Yeah, it's crazy to see some of these teams that are like, I'm looking at Cleveland's schedule: Walker Valley, McMinn County, Tullahoma, Maryville, Oak Ridge, Tyner, well, that's going to be a win, Bradley Central, Bearden, Hardin Valley, and Farragut. That's a gauntlet of a schedule.
Did Tyner not beat McMinn last night in the scrimmage?
That's the rumor on the street.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. Like that's not a.
Then maybe McMinn is. No, maybe McMinn's going to be a dub. Are they good too?
McMinn's good.
They're supposed.
Are they?
Yes, they're supposed to. They're the leading favorite to win that region.
Well, this TSSAA rule about transferring in has probably been really good for Bradley and really good for Tyner.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
But, man, I tell you what, that really watching that this morning got me excited about high school football. I know we're all excited around here.
Yeah, it was fun to be around here this morning.
I know it started. I mean, I called you in the car. I said high school football is on its cusp because we're starting to get in that talking season is coming to an end. You're going to have to play those games week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 7.
And for the record, just got a message here: Tyner is legit good.
Yeah. So here it is. So here's my thing. So I pulled up in the parking lot this morning. Cleveland's the coach and the players are out there in the parking lot. I went over to say hi to him and everything, and I walk in. And there's Bradley sitting inside. You're waiting to come on air. And I was like, wonder why they're not mingling. I don't know. Well, I just said, no, they were waiting on, Cleveland was waiting on the quarterback. By the way, we got to talk to that boy about parking his truck. He had some major issues. Just saying. I bet he backed that thing up 3 or 4 times before he got it in the spot. So he backed into the space, okay, instead of pulling straight in. Just
Jim over here throwing shade at their driving.
Golly, bum! What is this, University of Georgia?
You should have heard the coach and the other player. They were really giving him.
Oh, they were ripping him.
Oh, yeah. It was fun. It was great to be around here this morning, though. See all those kids.
I mean,
it's going to go on his scouting combine later on in life. Like, can't back up a vehicle in a small parking lot. Nobody can back up in this parking lot.
For real though, hats off to Coach Floyd for bringing in the 3 that he did, because it did. It sparked conversation. You bring
Absolutely did.
You bring in a kid that transferred from Cleveland. You bring in a kid that transferred from Walker Valley, and you bring in a 3-year starter at your own program
and made them captains.
Yeah,
so were voted by their peers as captains.
I've heard 2 things on that. I've heard talk about a locker room who's really accepted these guys and what a good thing is. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I've heard if that's where your locker room is, that two outsiders are coming in and being captains, I don't know if that's a good thing.
But you also have to understand that these guys are experienced players within the divisions, within these conferences, within this area. You've got one guy that was probably one of the best defensive players in all of the region and all in Southeast Tennessee.
Committed to Tulane.
Coming in to be a captain with a team that was very, very, very young last year. They had like 6 seniors that were actually playing all the time. It's a very young team, so to bring in some older leadership is a good thing.
So let's go ahead and transition over to college football. Some big news. We're going to hit on Rocky Top here in just a minute, but we're going to lead things off with the news that hit Michigan and the Wolverines. They were fined with a hefty a hefty fine and a suspension for head coach Sharon Moore.
Don't get me started on get me started on the suspension for Coach Moore.
Due to the sign stealing scandal, by the way.
And
How do you pick the game?
And how do we
Scandal.
How do
in air
we
quotes.
How do we determine hefty? Like $20 million to this university
They're
is
saying 20 to 30.
either way. Like what team wouldn't cheat? And if you're not going to pull the national, if you're not going to take it away, what fan base wouldn't get $20 million together to say, "Hey, we can get away with this.
Go win a
Let's just
natty."
go cheat and win"? How much do you think the University of Michigan made off of winning a
And
national
by the way, they're
championship?
appealing it. So we all knew that was going to happen.
I texted you guys about this today. They will forever go down to me looking like the Astros. I'll never forgive the Astros. I won't. I will not. I don't care if there's all the players are gone. To me, that organization
Altuve's still around.
looks like cheaters. And now
Correa is back.
Michigan is right up there with me. If you're not going to take those trophies away when you got caught,
How did Michigan cheat?
they were stealing signs.
How?
They had coaches telling players lie to the NCAA if they ask you this.
How did they steal the signs?
There's a whole Netflix
I understand that.
documentary
How did they steal the signs?
We got
because they want.
Stallion was going to games ahead of the time when you're there. You're not allowed to do that.
Videoing
It is against
from the
the
stands.
NCAA
Videoed
rules
one time.
to do
Was that the Central Michigan?
the
Videoed
way
one
the Connor
time.
Stallions did it is against NCAA rules.
The one time Connor Stallions did it illegally, he videotaped one time.
And
one time's enough.
$30 million for one time.
One
Yeah,
time's-
sure.
It's breaking the rules. Breaking the rules.
And you know, there are suspicions. I don't know if this ever came out true, but that he was paying for people to go to the stands and filming them. There's videos of him on sideline and other people's gear. I'm sorry, a guy that has a manifesto.
He was
That
on the
was funny.
Central
I'm
Michigan
sorry.
sidelines trying to steal signs from Michigan State when Central Michigan's playing.
And a guy that has a manifesto,
So-
like he's crazy.
Decorated military veteran.
Great. Thank you for your service. Don't ever step back foot in college football.
He literally, he's got 8 years and he can come back. His literal job in the military was intelligence and signals. Like that's what he learned. And they brought him in. And if you think that Connor Stallions is the only person in the NCAA that does this,
No, but he was caught.
I understand that. So, and we go back to just because he was caught, now he's the criminal. Right. What about all of them? What about Georgia? Georgia does it worse than anybody.
It's kind of like
Alabama does it. Tennessee does it. Everyone does
it.
it.
It's kind of like talking about the steroids. Okay, we know a lot more players did it than were caught, but it's the ones that are caught.
You get
And
popped, there's consequences.
Those are the ones that we go off on. That's just the way it works.
The problem is not Connor Stallions and Jim Harbaugh. Okay. Sharon Moore should not have got suspended for 2-3 more games, whatever it's going to be, that he's going to be suspended. $20 million, like Dave Portnoy said today, ashtray money.
Yeah, for
they
him
don't
it
care.
is.
They're going to burn it up. They don't care. They pay, what's their quarterback up at Michigan now?
Underwood.
Underwood. They pay him $20 million a quarter. That's how much it costs to have him up there. So with the money that they have up there, the money is not the issue, okay? I don't care. Connor Stallions being out for 8 years, fine. Jim Harbaugh being gone for 10 years, fine. Whatever, okay? My issue is not Michigan. And I hope that's not your issue either. My issue is the NCAA, because just like you said with steroids in Major League Baseball never did anything to fix the steroid problem.
Exactly right.
Michigan was not for right. They deleted text and stuff off their phones, saying, "Oh, my phone was full," and then it finally comes clean and says, "Well, I got scared."
Yeah, people deleting email servers and they still running for president. So I mean, fix the problems.
So
The
here's
thing
the
is not being trying to cover up the things they did, lying to the NCAA when they were investigating. If you just tell the truth straight out, it wouldn't be as bad. We all know that.
I would have zero problem with Michigan if it would have been taken away. If the wins would have been voided, I would have zero problem.
They did, vacated 12.
But they still are national champions. They should not be. If you got caught, if you got caught cheating, and they still get to hang it up in their stadium, they still get to do all those things.
UCF's the national championship. It's hanging in their stadium. So national championships really don't mean much.
2017.
If they're able to claim it, the same treatment that the Astros fans got, Michigan fans should get.
Completely different.
The difference in those scenarios is that Major League Baseball on the front end told the Houston Astros, just tell us what happened and nobody will get in trouble. Major League Baseball botched that whole situation because they could have dug and done the work themselves and found out and then issued some consequences. They wanted to avoid that. So from the front end, Major League Baseball said, hey, Houston Astros, you guys are safe. No one's going to get in trouble. No one's going to touch your trophy.
That's because nobody would talk. Of course they're going to, after they started poking around and nobody's saying a word, then they came out and said.
You know what that is to me? That's lazy is what that is.
Yeah, I mean.
It's Major League Baseball saying, oh my gosh, here's the Houston Astros. They're the best team for the past 5 years, and we're going to say that they've been cheating for 5 years? Absolutely. They're not going to do it. I'm not a Michigan fan, okay? I'm not. But my thing is fair, right? Like, what's fair? Just because Georgia hadn't got caught, I promise you Georgia has signal people at every single game sitting there watching the other sidelines, going to other
games. That's why they have the sheets.
This is why they're going to the in-helmet communication.
Absolutely.
That's why they're doing well, listen, college football should have done this
a long time ago.
10 years ago.
Yes, but the NCAA did not want that to happen, and they stopped it. And so the problem is not hardball. The problem is not Stallions. The problem is the NCAA, hands down.
Yeah. Hey, so next topic here, moving on to Rocky Top, as we talked about. And since Josh is in the studio, I want to revisit this. Tennessee Athletics transition to Adidas is a done deal. Our guy, Ben Bobick, down at Local 3 was the first to report weeks ago on this, and the deal is basically now putting Tennessee in a spot with Adidas to what Oregon is with Nike and Notre Dame is with Under Armour. So a big deal there, $20 million annually to the university's athletic department from Adidas.
That is huge, man. I mean, they are right now they're the highest paid. Now we all know there's going to be a lot of other schools going to some of these other apparel companies like Nike and saying, "Hey, listen, we want to be $21 million." You know, and I'm sure that Nike or Adidas. Well, I'm not saying Adidas will, but I think Nike will step up for some of the bigger brands.
Alabama's saying, "Hold up, wait a minute." That's what they're saying right now.
Yeah,
how much money are you giving Tennessee?
I would think Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, schools like that will say, "Wait a minute."
I'll be honest. I don't know unless there's these big heavy hitters that walk away from Nike. I don't know that Nike does anything. They're the biggest. They're the biggest company in all of sports. Why do they have to pay anybody any more or any less than what they feel like they're worth? They don't care. 80 to 90% of teams are wearing Nike. Tennessee. If you pay me $20 million, I'll wear Reebok. You pay me $20 million, I'll wear whatever you want me to wear. If you want to put me up on a pedestal of your brand and with today's technology and give me control of what the uniforms look like, I'll wear Lululemon like Josh was talking about.
Jacob said, give me $20 million and I'm wearing Skechers.
Yeah, hey, here's the thing, though. There comes a point where Nike has a certain amount of cachet that they want to sustain. They don't want to lose the bigger brands to Adidas or Under Armour. They want to maintain that 80%. And they want to maintain the high level and the bigger brands. So they will step up for some of these bigger brands. I'm sure of that.
Listen, good for Adidas. They went and got a little fish in a big pond. That's all they did.
Shots fired. The Bulldog has spoken. Hey, with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, going to talk a little bit more about Tennessee football, Atlanta Braves baseball. Vols scrimmaged in Neyland today, a little inter-squad scrimmage. All that when we come back right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
This is John Davis, the trading man at Kia Cleveland, and that's the sound of progress. We're under construction, and we're hammering out the best deals in the car business. Your price, your trade, and your credit will not be a problem. Bring us any trade in any condition, and we'll give you $7,000 over Kelly Blue Book Fair market value toward the purchase of any new Kia in our giant inventory. Yes, $7,000 more than your trade is worth. Is your credit less than perfect? That's okay. At Kia Cleveland, our lenders will say yes to you and yes to your situation. Remember, we'll be any deal from anywhere in Georgia, Tennessee, or Alabama. So, if you want $7,000 over Kelly Blue Book Fair market value for your trade, come see me, John Davis, at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee, where trading your car is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Looking for the dealer who's gonna give you more. Kia of Cleveland Superstore.
Offer subject to lender approval. Expires month end.
KiaofCleveland.com.
The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Like Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit, split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
When competition is fierce, sports injuries happen, and Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Saturday sports clinics are available at our Chattanooga and Cleveland offices from August 23rd through November 8th for the treatment of non-emergency orthopedic injuries like sprains, strains, and fractures. Doors open at 9 a.m., no appointment needed to be seen by our highly trained physicians and clinical staff. Saturday sports clinic dates are subject to change. Check sportmed.com for the latest information. That's sportmed.com.
What if a friend or a loved one was thinking about suicide? What would you say? What would you do? The Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network provides support. TSPN teaches how to spot warning signs of suicide, and we teach you how to do something. Go to tnprevention.org to learn how you can help with suicide prevention efforts. That's tnprevention.org, a public service announcement of the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network and this station.
For a quarter of a century, Mix 1041 has been taking you out to the ball game.
Swanson to first. The Browns are world champions.
Since 2000, Mix 1041 has been the home of the Atlanta Braves, and we're celebrating by giving away tickets to Atlanta Braves games all summer long. Listen for your chance to call or text to qualify. You can also register at the Mix socials on Facebook and Instagram. Braves 25 is presented by Cleveland Ford. Honest people, honest deals.
Do you suffer from unsightly leg veins? Are your legs turning brown or swelling? Do your legs feel heavy, tired, or achy? Do you have restless legs or leg cramps disturbing your sleep? These symptoms are signs of bad veins. Dr. James Gooden at Milligan Vein offers an office treatment that can make you look and feel better, and your procedure is covered by most insurance. Find more information online at milliganvein.com or call Dr. Gooden today at 423-961-5682 and get rid of those bad veins.
Cleveland Tire Center for over 45 years with the best name in tires: Bridgestone, Firestone, Goodyear, and Michelin. North Lee Highway, Cleveland. Cleveland Tire Center, where the name says it all.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
For over 100 years, Mayfield Dairy has been delivering farm-fresh dairy beloved by Southern families. That's it. Get that moo going, Rogers. Rogers in the building, big Mayfield guy. Learn more about Mayfield today at mayfielddairy.com. And just to transition over, of course, Mayfield, big-time Braves sponsors here on The Drive and ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
They shouldn't be. I mean, with you guys, not the Braves.
Josh is just coming in and just causing a ruckus today. I tell you what, this
Braves are trash.
but they've been playing some good baseball as of recent.
As long as they beat the Mets. right,
So
Andy?
last night, Braves defeated the New York Mets 4-3, taking the series 2-1, taking the season series from New York 7-3, and there's still 3 more games on the schedule. That's done. Braves have won the season series, and the Mets have lost 13 of their last 15. And I want to point this out because this was a very monumental moment. If you guys remember back a couple seasons ago, the Throw It Again game. Pete Alonso, who's the all-time home run leader now for the New York Mets, had a message after hitting 2 home runs off of Bryce Elder, coincidentally, who got the win last night, by the way. He was in the dugout after his home run trot of his second home run in 2023, yelling, "Throw it again," mocking Elder. Since the Throw It Again game, this is the stats for the Mets. They're 11-23 versus Atlanta and have 0 series wins.
That is incredible, man. They just
Throw it again,
they have their number, man. And Mets fans, they can't stand it. It drives them crazy.
Listen, I love the Atlanta Braves. I mean, I'm a diehard Braves fan, but I'm also a realist, unlike other people. The Braves are horrible, but anytime they can get a win against the Mets, and I can see Frank the Tank lose his mind on social media, it's the best thing in the world.
They introduced these two right here.
Frank
that guy's insane, man.
Thankfully, he's lost about 250 pounds, so he won't have a coronary anymore. And he's down under 300, so congrats to Frank the Tank. But anytime the Braves beat the Mets or anytime the Braves beat the Phillies, it's always a good day.
Yeah, again, if you've missed the beginning of the show, Braves activated Ronnie Baseball batting third tonight for the ATL up in Cleveland. Sandy Leon was optioned to AAA Gwinnett for Sandy Leon. For a corresponding move. Never even played with his time up. He's going to be on the coaching staff next year, I'm pretty sure. Carlos Carrasco also DFA'd, so that test went downhill really quick. Not going to be a part of the Braves organization. But going back to last night, Braves won 4-3. Matt Olson, with his start, passes Del Murphy, guy we talked about earlier as well, for the 13th longest consecutive games played list with 741 consecutive games played. Next on the list is Pete Rose at 745. Of course, Cal Ripken Jr., the Iron Man of Major League Baseball, holds the record of 2,632 games.
Wow. That's a unbreakable record.
It'll never fall.
No.
Realistically, looking at this, I think best case scenario for Matt Olson, if he's able to keep this up, is third. And that's over like 1,600 games. That's going to take him another 8 years to get anywhere close to that.
Man. Yeah.
So very impressive. Money Mike stayed hot last night. 500th career hit. Had a 3-hit game along with Ozzie Albies, who had a 3-hit game. Harris tied the game with an RBI double in the 8th. Ozzie's double scored Money Mike for the 4th and final run for the Braves, winning that game 4-3. So big offense going last night from those two guys who started the season really, really bad and really slow.
And the Mets now a half a game in front of Cincinnati for that last wild card spot. So, yeah, the Mets are reeling right now.
Braves 11 games back.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's no chance.
It's 11 back in the wild card. But we said this yesterday. I don't think they're going to make it. I think it's nearly impossible for them to make a wild card spot. But what they can do is continue to play spoiler like they've been doing over the last 2 weeks, and they can kind of get back in the mix to make some teams sweat a little bit. I think if you're a Braves fan and you want to finish on a good note, that's the optimistic side to kind of look at it. But Josh is done, as he's stated. But, hey, another thing I want to talk about is going back to the Volunteers, which, by the way, first pitch tonight, Braves up in Cleveland, taking on the team formerly known as the Indians. First pitch, 7:10 on Mix 104.1. We're going to have Falcons and Titans on ESPN Cleveland 101.3 tonight for the preseason coverage there in the NFL, and all Braves coverage presented by Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. But going back to the Volunteers, Tennessee scrimmaged in Neyland Stadium today with crowd noise piped in. The quarterback battle's trending towards Joey Aguilar. We've heard from several sources that's where it's going. Heupel's still kind of holding back before he solidifies that position. And then Boo Carter also got reps on the defensive side of the ball, and Coach Heupel said he's day-to-day. He's done some things in a good way. He kind of was very...
Boy, that's a nightmare, isn't it?
Tell you what. Can we just deactivate some social media accounts?
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Who, Boo's Mamas?
Boo's moms. Yeah, she's out
not
there,
helping.
man.
Not helping things.
No, and here's the thing is Boo, we all know Boo, and Boo's a great kid. Like, he really is. Like, Boo's a good guy. Like, I met him a few times. We know him through football. We know he's a great athlete. He's a great player. The problem that I think that Boo has is the things that surround him in his life, right, and the choices that he has to make. All year, like all off season, we heard that Boo was leaving Tennessee, that he was going to go to Colorado. He was going to go get his Louis bag in Colorado, and he was going to do those things. Now we've heard that he's been in California. We've heard he's been in Florida. We've heard he's been all over the place. And he's wanting to stay at Tennessee, wanting to move over to offense, has the best opportunity to be probably – like, coming into this season, Boo had the best opportunity to be the number one player at Tennessee this year.
Yeah, it could be another Travis Hunter.
Oh, my goodness.
Colorado.
And just raise his draft stock. But now what we're seeing is the same thing that we saw last year with James Pierce Jr.
Yep.
You know, thankfully James Pierce got drafted by the Falcons.
Dividing that locker room, though.
It is, right, man, and it's tough.
And
it's
James
tough.
Pierce is having. Hey, by the way, just a programming note. We are going to have an SEC preview show here on ESPN tomorrow from 4 to 6. So if you're out and about in your car, you want to hear a little SEC football for a couple hours, you just tune it in right here because we will be carrying that special from 4 to 6 tomorrow. So yeah, we got a lot of football right around the corner. High school starting early next week, so excited to be out there watching that Cleveland Walker Valley game, man. Can't wait.
Yeah, hey, with that, we're going to wrap up today's show. Josh Rogers. Hey, let's give him a hand, guys. Glad to have Josh back on the show with us, man.
Thank you.
For Jacob Mason, Jim Gum, I'm Andy Morris. Have a great day, everybody.
It's time for a Don Ledford of Cleveland traffic update on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Don Ledford Chevrolet Buick GMC, located on North Lee Highway in Cleveland. Or visit donledford.com for details. Don Ledford, where we say yes. It's on-time traffic with Commander Chuck.
Good afternoon. Still building out here where you would expect this time of the afternoon, especially trying to get across the Chickamauga Dam on 153, building back up into the Hickson area. Stop and go right now. Shallowford over I-75. Watch for radar, even over the weekend over here on 75 north and southbound between Shallowford and Highway 153. Happy Hemp Pharmacy, now open at their new location on Cummings Highway there in Lookout Valley. They're right next to Walmart. Go see them this weekend at Happy Hemp Pharmacy. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
From the Alon Planning Partners Weather Center, here's your forecast on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Visit them online at alonplanning.com or give them a call at 423-315-1441.
Warm and muggy this evening. We've had a couple of thunderstorms during the afternoon. We may have one or two lingering into the evening, but fading after sunset. Overnight dropping to 72 for your Saturday morning. Hot and humid Saturday afternoon. We'll have a high of 94 degrees. Heat index will be about 100 with a slight chance for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon. And pretty much the same on Sunday, a high of 94. Partly cloudy skies and a heat index of 100. Download the Local 3 weather app, free for iPhone and Android. I'm Chief Meteorologist David Carnes for the Local 3 Storm Alert Team.
Your current Milligan Vane temperature is 87 degrees. MilliganVane.com.
Hardees is hiring. Join the STAR team. Flexible scheduling, daily pay, free meals, 20% family discount, plus paid vacation for part-time and full-time employees. Apply in-store or online at Hardees.com today.
You're listening to Paul Feinbaum on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. The ESPN Cleveland 101.3 lineup is supplied by Wholesale Supply Group. WholesaleSupply.us.
Cleveland Tire Center. Locally owned and operated for over 45 years. Cleveland Tire, your one-stop auto care shop in Cleveland. North Lee Highway, where the name says it all.
Hey Cleveland, are you suffering from fatigue, low sex drive, or just not feeling like yourself? Optimize You is the answer that you have been looking for. Our team is here to listen and help you become the best version of yourself again. So find us online at OptimizeYouCenters.com. That's OptimizeYouCenters.com.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 101.3, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit BestBuyMetalRoofing.com.
for a roster spot right now.
Yeah, he's just fighting an uphill battle because of the numbers game. But guess what? He has a chance to do more than just make those catches. He is going to have a chance with special teams. And if he can make a name, that's how Daryl Hodge has showed up on this team for a few years. And he became, nothing but an all-pro and as a special teams player. So it's pretty cool. All right, you threw me that one. I'm going to throw back because this is a guy we talked about earlier, but Jovan Gwynn. It's a very important night for him tonight.
I would say of the people that have important nights, he is on the short list, if not number one, of guys that need to have a good night. Now, look, we talked numerous times this offseason about Ryan Newsel. Drew Dahlman moved on to the Chicago Bears, got great money. The Atlanta Falcons didn't feel like the price tag was worth it and got outbid by the Chicago Bears. So Ryan Newsel, who started half the season last year as Drew Dahlman's backup, moves into the starting role this season. Now, who replaces him? Jovan Gwynn is getting first crack at it, but like we talked about earlier today, it was hit or miss last week for a guy like Jovan Gwynn. They signed Jake Hansen, a veteran center, after last week's game. Jovan Gwynn, very, very good in pass pro. Not great in the run game, and I think that he was responsible for a lot of the numbers we saw. He got 100% of the snaps at center last week, responsible for a lot of the numbers we did see last week in terms of the running game. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball and bring up a guy who was a defensive player of the game. 7 total tackles last week for Josh Woods. I didn't expect that we would have these position battles at middle linebacker, but look, D'Angelo Malone has moved back there. J.D. Bertrand has been injured. Caleb Johnson has played a lot. You can sign Ronnie Harrison. Josh Woods, for all the questions, definitely put a good step forward last week.
Yeah, he looked fast, Mike. He was everywhere, and it felt like he got there super quick. It played very aggressive. Violent's kind of a word we don't really associate as much with the game as we used to, but he kind of played violently, and that was good to see. All right, you threw me that one. What if I throw one in the secondary that we haven't really talked about? Lamar Jackson. He looks the part.
So intriguing.
But now, Clark Phillips, we don't know what's going to happen with his injury. C.J. Henderson's now here. Now it's even more important, right, for Lamar Jackson to step up?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. And you and I talked earlier about Casey Washington and his standing in the receiver battle, where he's kind of battling, but it almost feels like Casey Washington, with the absence of Darnell Mooney, has pulled so far ahead that it's not even a battle anymore for that fifth wide receiver spot. It's like, okay, who's going to be the sixth wide receiver at this point? Lamar Jackson looks on defense the way Casey Washington does on offense. And I mean just physically. The first guy off the bus looks incredible. Terry Fontenot has mentioned it a couple of times, as has Raheem Morris, the stature of a guy like that. And look, this is a defense, even before Raheem got here, that always likes to have a bigger body at corner. Lamar Jackson, 210, 215 range, really a big dude and plays with a lot of athleticism. He's entering his third year in the NFL. So I do think the sky's the limit for him, but he is one of those guys that when you start doing the roster math on the back end, start asking questions. Another position we are asking about roster math-wise is that outside linebacker edge spot. I'm going to throw one at you. How about Khalid Kareem? Did have a sack last week. You and I have been pretty impressed by the presence he's brought, but when you look at the way it starts lining up, Leonard Floyd, Arnold Ebiketie, Jalen Walker, D'Angelo Malone, James Pierce, Braylon Trice, that's going to be a really tough spot to make a roster.
Yeah, where does he go, and how do you keep him? And one thing that Arch and I have always talked about, obviously Dave Archer, is he always reminds me, hey, it is a numbers game, but is this a player that you think won't get snatched up? Because you have to cut him, and then if you want him back on the practice squad,
can he clear waivers?
Can he clear?
Yeah.
Because that could be the difference, honestly, in making a team or not. If the team thinks you would clear the waivers and they'd be able to grab you back on the practice squad, or someone will come in and snatch you up.
Yeah.
Mike, it is time now for the starting lineups, which is brought to you by Georgia Power, proud to bring winning energy to fans like you.
Well, there's a lot of questions about the Atlanta Falcons starting lineup. I think that you'll probably get a lot of the same pieces you did offensively. That offensive line looked like Jack Nelson, Kyle Hinton, Jovan Gwynn, Elijah Wilkinson, and Brandon Parker. We did see Elijah Dotson start off the game last week at the running back spot, Easton Stick at quarterback. A mix of wide receivers. We just talked about Dylan Drummond, guys like Chris Blair. Saw a sprinkle of DJ Chark, a little bit of Casey Washington before they pulled him from the game, as well as David Sills. And then when you flip over and look at the Titans offense, I think they played 12 offensive linemen a week ago. Cam Ward will reportedly get a couple of series, as will the starting defense for them. It's all about injuries, and it's all about obviously the position battles that they're going through right now.
And by the way, Mike, the winning formula is brought to you by Truist. Leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC.
Yeah, and look, these are going to be conversations as far as the starters goes that go all the way through the defense, all the way back to special teams. You and I mentioned it earlier. It sounds from the conversation we've had like Younghoe Koo will be a part of the action tonight. Lenny Krieg probably take a step back after playing the entire game last week. So obviously Younghoe Koo needing to put his best foot forward. All right, it's time for us to take a break. When we come back, your voices of the Atlanta Falcons, Wes Durham and Dave Archer, they're going to join us. That's next, right here on the Atlanta Falcons Radio Network.
You think a source...
This is John Davis, the trading man at Kia Cleveland, and that's the sound of progress. We're under construction, and we're hammering out the best deals in the car business. Your price, your trade, and your credit will not be a problem. Bring us any trade in any condition, and we'll give you $7,000 over Kelly Blue Book fair market value toward the purchase of any new Kia in our giant inventory. Yes, $7,000 more than your trade is worth. Is your credit less than perfect? That's okay. At Kia Cleveland, our lenders will say yes to you and yes to your situation. Remember, we'll be any deal from anywhere in Georgia, Tennessee, or Alabama. So, if you want $7,000 over Kelly Blue Book fair market value for your trade, come see me, John Davis, at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee, where trading your car is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Looking for the dealer who's gonna give you more. Kia of Cleveland Superstore.
Offer subject to lender approval. Expires month end.
KiaofCleveland.com.
From the job site to the showroom, Wholesale Supply has the top brands you trust at the prices that work for your bottom line. With over 30 locations across the Southeast and over 75 years of service, no one supports our contractors and communities like we do. Wholesale Supply, built to supply, trusted to deliver.
Now at Hardees, 2 hand-breaded chicken tender wraps are only $5. Mix and match your favorite flavors like buttermilk ranch, honey mustard, and spicy. Endless combinations start with 2 warm tortillas, each filled with 100% white meat, juicy on the inside, crispy on the outside, hand-breaded chicken tenders. Any 2 wraps, now just $5. Hardees, goodness in the making. These items only. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Visit restaurant for details.
CHI Memorial Medical Group has 2 primary care practices and a convenient care office to provide more urgent needs in Cleveland. Visit chimemorialmedicalgroup.org to find a location close to home.
Imagine this, handheld pizza puffs filled with mozzarella cheese and pizza sauce, topped with buttery garlic drizzle, with either 3 herbs or pepperonis. Well, it's a reality. Little Caesar's Crazy Puffs. Pick them up at 3 locations, Paul Huff, Keith Street, or McGrady Drive, or order online.
When it comes to your vascular health, you have a choice. Don't wait weeks for an appointment or settle for less than the best. At the Vascular Institute of Chattanooga, we make it easy. Timely appointments where you're seen in days, not weeks. No referral needed. We're the only vascular practice in the region to accept self-referrals. And we have 6 convenient locations. Expert care, always close to home. Choosing VIC means choosing the regional leaders in vascular care, where experience, convenience, and advanced treatment come together for you. Your health, your choice. Choose VIC. Call today or visit vascularinstituteofchattanooga.com.
Anna Street, Big Dave's Cheesesteaks, a taste of Philly.
Welcome back to the Countdown to Kickoff. I'm Mike Johnson here with executive producer of the Atlanta Falcons Radio Network, Mr. Bo Morgan. We are live from the Mercedes-Benz Club right behind the Atlanta Falcons bench, and it's time for the Falcons Roundtable. We're joined by Wes Durham and Dave Archer up in the booth. And, guys, look, I think we had some questions answered last week, others that still kind of linger over this team into the crossover practices this week. But let's start with Easton Stick. Arch, obviously a good foot forward for him. I have no idea where that lands him in terms of the hierarchy and what the outlook is, but all you could have hoped for Easton Stick last week was exactly what he did.
Hey, I don't know why we got to start with Easton Stick. I want to hear about the club.
Well, okay.
Right, Arch?
All right,
I mean,
let's go.
Pregame show in the Bo and Mike start the pregame show, and now they're in the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Mike's trying to be very professional because he knows we had a limited amount of time to talk, so he didn't want to talk about the club, even though he's got.
All right, I'll go ahead and tell you real
Freddie
quick.
the
That's the
Falcon
pool I
burger in
have.
front of him and some Dirty Bird wings.
Yeah. Anyway,
let's talk about Easton Stick and Bo, pipe down. Mike, Easton Stick, I thought that, what he did for me, Mike, and you tell me, okay, you're offensive lineman. He goes out there, he moves you up and down the field. He's getting the ball out. He's not getting sacked behind you. Doing some positive things. Completes, 15, 18 passes, throws a touchdown pass right before the end of the half. Did a lot of really good stuff there in the first half. No running game whatsoever. I thought he did a really good job of managing the game with what he had. Thought he had a myriad of receivers he played with. Thought he did a great job of meshing with all those guys. Maybe some guys he didn't get time with in practice. Some guys he got a lot of time with in practice. But I thought that he meshed with everybody there well. And what he did for me, if I'm sitting upstairs in one of these boxes wearing a suit, and somebody comes along and says, hey, we got an injury at quarterback, and how available is Kirk Cousins? I'm much more comfortable doing that now than I saw Easton Stick go out and get his job done.
That's the thing, Mike, for me and Bo, is Easton Stick created a conversation about the 53 that has his name on it. Because if we all have this, I don't know what it is, scenario, whatever you want to call it, where we think some team is going to call Terry Fontenot and want Kirk Cousins like week 2 or 3, right? And if that scenario does exist in this world, in this season, Easton Stick's on this football team in week 1.
Yeah, it's funny, Wes, because I just referenced that with something Archie always tells me is that if they think that guy can make the practice squad, it's easier to cut him. But if they don't, then he might have a roster spot because they don't want somebody to grab him. And that's exactly what you're talking about with Easton Stick.
I don't think you can afford to put Easton Stick on the street. How's that? That's as simple as I can say it.
Well, okay, so speaking of the street, what do you guys think the C.J. Henderson signing off the street means? Because, Clark Phillips, I know, has this rib thing, but Lamar Jackson's looked pretty good, we think. I mean, Natron Brooks has made a couple of plays, but now you've added another name back there.
Well, this is C.J. Henderson's 4th team. He's got 32 starts in 49 career games and 172 tackles and 3 interceptions. Is he the answer opposite A.J. Terrell? I don't know that that's the case.
No.
But he's a guy who can contribute because I can see by the tackle numbers in the games played, he's a physical player.
The reason he's on the roster is because Clark Phillips is beat up, just like Bo said, and Colby Bryant has not been able to take many snaps. You like what Lamar Jackson's done. I completely agree with you, Bo. Lamar's looked really good. In fact, he's raised his level up to where I'm comfortable with him as a backup corner. Okay. I think Natron Brooks has played himself in a position to be a backup corner, and what's happening is, unfortunately, Clark Phillips not being able to play is maybe playing himself in a position where he's not on the roster. And so now does C.J. Henderson slide into a spot where he can compete for that 5th corner position, 6th corner position, because that's what I see. He's not coming here to take anybody's job. Mike Hughes is the starter on one side, and A.J. Terrell is the starter on the other side.
And let me ask
I want to go back to
does that, Mike, does that lock the secondary down because of what you've seen so far at safety, not just in the one game last Friday, but also in camp, where you got Watts, Fuller, Bowman, Alford, Helms, Jesse Bates?
You mean what
I personally thought that would have been already locked up. Yeah, I mean when they signed Henry Black.
The safety piece to me, Mike, and you and I have talked about it a number of times in practice, safety piece is not a problem.
Right.
The safety piece is, are you going to cut a guy that can go play for somebody else? So you got a bunch of guys there that can play. I think you're fine there. The corner is the problem. And let's not forget now, everybody wants to keep forgetting Mike Ford.
Right.
Mike Ford can play nickel and corner, and that makes somebody expendable on the outside, because let me tell you something. You could pick about 3 guys on this team who aren't going anywhere on special teams. One of them is Josh Woods, the other one's Kaderl Hodge, and one of them's Mike Ford.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mike Ford was making plays in that joint practice, Arch, against Tennessee, and I forgot how good of a special teams guy he is.
Yeah, Mike Ford can play nickel. He can play corner. So the versatility he brings to the table, and he's one of the best gunners in the league. I've talked to Marquise Williams a number of times, and Marquise said one of the issues was that they could double Kadarrell Hodge last year at the gunner position. With Mike Ford playing the other gunner, or a guy that's starting to blossom as a gunner in Billy Bowman, who also is playing nickel, they're not going to be able to double Kadarrell Hodge on the outside.
Guys, before we let y'all go, I do have one more question, and this has been something I've harped on for some time. I've talked to you a little bit, Arch, out at practice. Third down conversions in preseason. At what point do we get concerned? It was awful last year. It was awful again last week. You carried it into the season last year. I'm not terribly concerned about it, but at some point you'd like to see this team at least make more than one third down.
Okay, so you're talking about third down on offense where they were 17th in the league last year, right?
Correct.
Okay. They have had 3 consecutive years where essentially they're in the bottom half of the league. It coincides with also buying 3 straight years, by the way, of minus turnover margins.
See, I'm not as worried about the offensive conversion rate as I am the defensive conversion rate. And so we were brutal on defense. We've been brutal on defense on third down the last 2 years. And you were right at the bottom of the league this last year. 31st in the league last year.
Correct.
So to me, that maybe does that organically take care of itself if I got guys rushing the passer and now it's 3rd and 8, it's not 3rd and 2, certainly. And I think that some of the shortcomings potentially from an offensive standpoint in conversion, Mike, to me changes because the quarterback can move. Okay, so now all of a sudden I'm not 3rd and 8. I'm not residing to the fact that, okay, my quarterback is either going to get it out or he's going to get sacked. Michael's going to be able to get out of there and do some impromptu stuff and extend drives and get first down. So now all of a sudden that conversion rate comes up more just because of his athleticism. And I think it changes the dynamic on 1st and 2nd down because you got a problem with him coming out the backside of that stretch running game with Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier.
Well, guys, I won't say good luck tonight. I was told not to do that last week, so I'll just finish with have fun. How about that? How about have fun tonight?
Now, have you guys had the Freddie the Falcon burger down there?
Yeah, come on, you guys have.
The new cuisine here in the building of the Dirty Bird Wings, phenomenal.
No, but Gordon and I just shared a brisket sliders and chicken tenders. We kind of just switched off the baskets. I tried a little bit of his, he tried a little bit of mine. So.
I'm going to beeline that way in just a second.
Did they have mac and cheese for Bo down there, Mike?
They did, but I skipped it. I didn't have enough time to eat it, Wes.
All right, guys, we'll hand it back off to you in just a minute.
Cheese up here, burnt in mac
and cheese upstairs, Bo. Be good for you.
I'm on my way.
Headed that way shortly. You guys have fun today.
Thanks.
All right, when we come back, Bo and I are going to take a look around the league. We're going to hit some of these news and notes from the NFL preseason. We're back after this on the Atlanta Falcons Radio Network.
Hey, Falcon fans, it's Dave Archer here with everybody's #1 pick, Rooms to Go. If you need new furniture, Rooms to Go's got you covered. Living rooms, bedrooms, mattresses, even patio furniture. Great-looking furniture, priced right, and always in stock. But that's not all. Again this season, the Atlanta Falcons are teaming up with Rooms to Go to help local families in need with entire home makeovers. Great furniture for a great cause. Thanks, Rooms to Go.
Right now at the Home Depot, you can stack up on storage solutions that fit your needs, like heavy-duty shelving, strong enough to hold up to 2,500 pounds per shelf, so it can handle all your lawn and garden tools, your power tools, or your weight set, if that's what you're into. Because the right storage should work for whatever your day throws at it. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro's swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Kia has 10 electrified utility vehicles to choose from. Whether you're ready to take a Kia Sportage Turbo Hybrid on a road trip, a professional looking to navigate traffic in an EV9, or someone who wants electric for every day and fuel for far away with a Sorento plug-in hybrid, Kia has something for you. Find out more at your local Kia showroom today. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely. The 2025 Sorento PHEV has an EPA estimated all-electric range of 31 miles on a full battery charge. Actual range will vary.
Are you ready for some football? Well, you are now, thanks to Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the Atlanta Falcons and the NFL, Ticketmaster's got the best way to take it to the house when it comes to being there live. They're the safest and most convenient marketplace to score fully verified Atlanta Falcons tickets. And even if your plans get broken up, or worse, turned over, Ticketmaster gives you more flexibility to sell your seats. So get those touchdown celebrations ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Falcons.
Family history. Everyone has one. And if you have heart disease in yours, Emory Heart and Vascular can help rewrite your story. Emory's expert heart team pioneers the most innovative techniques and treatments to set the standard of care for more options and better outcomes than anywhere else. To make more family moments, more friend moments, and more best friend moments possible. Emory Heart and Vascular. Next day appointments at emoryhealthcare.org/bestfriend.
Welcome back into the countdown to kickoff. We're live from Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Mike Johnson, Bo Morgan hanging out with you. We are at the Mercedes-Benz Club just off the back of the Atlanta Falcons sideline, and we're having a good time here as the fans stream into the game, expecting obviously a good atmosphere for tonight's preseason game number 2 against the Tennessee Titans. Time for some NFL news and headlines from around the league. There are a couple of games on tap tonight, Bo. The Titans and Falcons, obviously one of those that will get kicked off at 7 o'clock here in just over half an hour. And then also later tonight, you'll get the Chiefs against the Seahawks, and that's going to be fun to keep tabs of as well. Couple of news notes from around the league, couple of injuries I want to talk about. Travis Hunter, an upper body injury. He did play in last week's preseason game. I think he got 5 snaps on defense, got 11 snaps on offense. Liam Cohen says, hey, it's just precautionary. You know, it's nothing really to worry about, but I think with everybody talking about how taxing this role could be on his body, it's just something I think everybody is kind of looking at and going, oh, here we go.
Did he look small to you?
He's very slight. There's no doubt about it. He has a slight build for sure.
He's only 6'1", like 190, 185, something like that. He's not as – that worries me a lot for a guy that has proclaimed how much he wants to play both ways and how much they've said that they're into that and they want it to happen. That would worry me a ton because you named it. He said he played more offensive snaps than defensive, and he's already banged up. That's worrisome for his goal of playing both ways throughout his career.
Yeah, I think that's going to be tough, and I think that everybody that's been asked about it says the same thing. It's tough to do that. When you do get dinged up, you're losing so much time on both sides of the ball. Now you're talking about limiting snaps. Now you're talking about which packages can he be a part of and how much can you use him on both sides of the ball. Another injury being dealt with from around the league, that's Matthew Stafford, former Georgia quarterback, obviously quarterback now of the Los Angeles Rams. He's got a back issue. I'm not asking this because of the Monday night matchup later on this year in December. I'm asking this for right now. Is this something that you think Falcons fans should be keeping track of?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think they do. I think they think that. But personally, they have Jimmy Garoppolo out there. They also have Stetson Bennett, who McVay clearly likes a lot to bring back. Because remember, he had the incident where he left the team his rookie year, and then last year he was there, right? So, but for me, I don't think as much because they want a guy that can move this similar offense to what we run here.
Yeah.
That's where Zach came from. That's where Rock came from. Came back from when he came his second stint here, this time as head coach. But I just think they want a little bit more mobility. I'm not sure, even though Kirk has shown that, I just don't know if it would fit 100% what they wanted to do, and I don't think they can afford it.
Yeah. Speaking of quarterback injuries, one of the stories from preseason week 1 was Shedeur Sanders, and he obviously is injured, and you know, it's one of those things that we all looked at him last week and thought, oh, man, good for him. You know, he's one of those guys that we're all kind of rooting for because of everything that happened back in the draft. Ended up being the 144th pick overall in the 5th round there to the Cleveland Browns.
but doesn't look like he's going to play this week. He did suffer an oblique injury in the crossover practice with the Philadelphia Eagles. It kind of went viral as he's walking off with Jalen Hurts and getting that drive and the golf cart out. Does seem like the Dylan Gabriel is going to be a part of their week 2 preseason game against the Philadelphia Eagles, but it's just one of those things when you look at Shadur Sanders and everything else going on around that, you feel bad because he seems like somebody that was obviously hitting his stride last week.
Yeah, you actually hate it for him because he did really well, and it was one of those performances where it kind of changed people's thought process. Well, I think the people that maybe doubted him were like, oh, wait, maybe he can do this. Maybe he is, an NFL player. And then he comes out on the depth chart, and he's 4 still, right? And a lot of people were upset about that. And it was another chance for him to prove he should be higher. So you kind of hate that for Shedeur.
Yeah, I definitely do. And look, the Cleveland Browns quarterback issue, it's going to continue to go on. They've got, 6 guys now on the roster up there at quarterback. They signed Snoop Huntley earlier on this week, so that's something that we'll obviously be keeping track of throughout this preseason and wondering who the heck is going to take snaps for them throughout the year.
And don't forget, stay tuned for the Ticketmaster halftime show with our very own Grant McCauley. It's all brought to you by Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, pleased to have Grant McCauley join the team. He and I will both be on the post-game show as well, immediately following the game here with the Tennessee Titans and the Atlanta Falcons at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The video boards are going in here in the Mercedes-Benz Club. You can start to see some of the guys warming up. Looks like Leonard Floyd there on the Jumbotron on the Halo board. And so a lot of these guys starting to get ready to rock tonight, and the atmosphere seems pretty good so far. All right, when we come back, special guest Warren Parr, the VP of Dickett Sales, will join Wes and Dave up in the booth. We're back after this in the Atlanta Falcons Radio Network.
This is John Davis, the trading man at Kia Cleveland, and that's the sound of progress. We're under construction, and we're hammering out the best deals in the car business. Your price, your trade, and your credit will not be a problem. Bring us any trade in any condition, and we'll give you $7,000 over Kelly Blue Book Fair market value toward the purchase of any new Kia in our giant inventory. Yes, $7,000 more than your trade is worth. Is your credit less than perfect? That's okay. At Kia Cleveland, our lenders will say yes to you and yes to your situation. Remember, we'll be any deal from anywhere in Georgia, Tennessee, or Alabama. So, if you want $7,000 over Kelly Blue Book Fair market value for your trade, come see me, John Davis, at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee, where trading your car is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Looking for the dealer who's gonna give you more. Kia of Cleveland Superstore.
Offer subject to lender approval. Expires month end.
KiaofCleveland.com.
Your new home for 24-hour sports coverage. ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
From the job site to the showroom, Wholesale Supply has the top brands you trust at the prices that work for your bottom line. With over 30 locations across the Southeast and over 75 years of service, no one supports contractors and communities like we do. Wholesale Supply, built to supply, trusted to deliver.
Check your wallet. Empty? Check your bills. Overdue? Check your stress level. Maxed? Now, check into cash. Check into Cash is your one-stop money shop, and we've got everything you need. Payday loans and flex lines of credit options? Check. Quick in-store services like money orders and wire transfers? Check. Turn your unused gift cards into cash? Oh yeah, check. And yes, we cash checks. All kinds. Fast. Check that off your list. Visit checkintocash.com or check into a store to get started. The process is simple, quick, and designed to get you the help you need fast. If you've been approved, you can leave with cash in hand. We have locations in the Chattanooga area, including Cleveland and Athens. Check in, cash out, and get on with life. Check into Cash. We fund today to make a better tomorrow. Subject to state regulations, eligibility, credit check, underwriting, and approval. Rates, restrictions, and fees apply. Visit the store for details.
Check out the great savings this August at Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. Nissan needs to make room for the new 2026 models, so they have 0% APR on 2525 Murano, Rogue, or Pathfinder, or just 1.9% APR on Frontier, and thousands off brand new 2026 Nissan Rogues. Want to trade in your old car? Nissan is giving up to $7,000 over book value when you trade, and they will buy your car even if you don't buy theirs. Shop in person on exit 20 off I-75 or visit cleveland-nissan.com. Payments are per month for 75 months. Does not include tax, tag, title, or dealer doc fee. Must finance through the dealer, subject to credit approval and pick from new dealer stock.
And welcome back downtown. We're at Mercedes-Benz Stadium tonight. Preseason game number 2 for the Falcons. Our kickoff preview is brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. West Durham, Dave Archer, pleased to be joined by Vice President of Ticketing and Service, Warren Parr, who's come up here to spend a few minutes with us because he's got new toys in this building, Arch, among other things.
Yes, he does.
Warren, first of all, great to see you. This thing we talked about a year ago, this club, right. This thing that looks like a little bit of an aircraft carrier when you stand in the middle of the stadium and look up there is a phenomenal. I mean, we talked about it here a year ago, maybe 9 months ago?
Right. Yep.
And now all of a sudden it's there. What an unbelievable addition this club is, huh?
It is. It's our all-new Sports Illustrated Lounge.
Lounge. I'm sorry. Lounge, Arch.
Yeah. It's a club lounge.
They're expecting to do 30 minutes of stand-up after the game, so it's going to be fun. Go ahead.
The all-new 6,000-square-foot club that we've constructed in the west end zone of the stadium.
Yeah.
We actually had to remove 600 of the seats that were there, and then we transformed 700 of the existing upper-level seats into padded club seats that have adjacent access right into that club. It's an all-inclusive space, all-inclusive grab-and-go concessions, snacks. They got ice cream up there if you got kids. And then we got 2 full-service bars on each side for alcohol purchases. But it has come out, I mean, it's exceeded our expectation in terms of the feel, the vibe, and just the view. The view is something that you have to be there to really experience it.
All right, 2 things. One, you were talking to us last fall when you visited with us later in the regular season about there was a price point that came back to you in some of the customer surveys you've done of season ticket members and things like that. So that price point obviously successful. You've addressed that. Second part is, and I was asked this question this week by somebody who was at the game last Friday. When Syracuse and Tennessee and South Carolina, Virginia Tech play and Georgia Tech, Georgia play here, is that going to be an option?
That will be an option, correct.
Wow.
It'll be up to the promoter on how they want to sell it, whether they want to just market it, like a single game ticket, or if they want to, provide it to a booster or something like that, or an alumni club, but it's up to that promoter. But, for us, for Falcons, we sell it as a season ticket. We'll sell it as a group ticket option this year.
It's amazing.
To your point, the price point of this club is about half of what one of our typical other lower level clubs would be, and so that was kind of the intent, was to create kind of an entry level club product that had some of the amenities and the experience that some of those other areas have. And that club up there is the largest club in the stadium that actually is in the bowl, right? So you can still feel like you're a part of the action even when you're in that club space.
Warren, you and I have had a chance to do this a number of times to talk about what's going on, and you and your team and your thoughts and your feelings of the voice of the fan, and you guys do such a good job of absorbing comments and things from fans, good and bad, as to what's going on. Talk us through some of the premium opportunities, some of the cool opportunities from a travel standpoint that the fan's going to be able to experience here with this team.
Sure. We pride ourselves on having the best benefits in the NFL for our season ticket members. We provide all of our season ticket members with the option to select complimentary gear that's exclusive to them. I was actually in a meeting this morning. We're in the design phase of designing next year's gear, so that process takes a long time. Our free road game tickets for our premium members is something that we're one of, if not the only teams in the league that do something like that. Last year we had 700 season ticket members that we bought tickets for to go to Las Vegas. This year a typical road game will have 200 to 300. So, it's little things like that where we want to be a little bit unique in terms of what we're providing. We don't want to be cookie cutter. Every team and every franchise does the typical discount on merch and things like that. We wanted to think outside the box, and it's worked well. And this past year, our season ticket members rated us number 2 in customer service, and so it's a testament. We really leaned into the resources that we add to our service team. We've built that group out, and it's not just emails and text messages and things. We want to get on the phone, right? We want that human connection with our season ticket members, and it's paying off for us.
I know we were talking about it during the break. Dave was talking to Bo and Mike about some of the menu items we're seeing here tonight in the building. Some of this stuff is amazing. I mean, Arch was having the wings. I think I had a sandwich. There was